Hello. Welcome to
Song
another.
lama dama ding dong.
Yes. Um. Hello, and welcome to another scene in Changeling the Dreaming. It's in Dublin. Blah 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 blah. Yes. So today's scene finds a lovely group of changelings who have a picnic basket. They're kind of wandering around. Where do you guys? Actually, yeah. So you guys were like, you know what? There's a nice little park around here. Oh, there's a nice little park around here. And there's, it's grass and stuff. So I mean, Dave will just kind of scorch it, but that's okay. He's a growing young little boy or girl. You're not really too sure at this point because reptiles, or at least the dreaming reptiles, have internal genitalia. So it's kind of difficult to know really what Dave is, and Dave's kind of odd. They lick their eyeball on occasion.
So on occasion, Frogger will just hold her in front of him, look at him, and say, "So Dave, do you have a penis?"
Dave will open his mouth and in the very lizard-like thing will just kind of stick his tongue out and slap it on his eyeball.
I would take that as a plausible deniability. All right then. Twink.
Dave is very much like this weird kind of cat on occasion. He will, when Dave is set down, they'll kind of like rub themselves against Frogger's leg in that kind of happy, yes, yes,
Scratch, 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 scratch.
yes. He's a very happy little lava salamander that burns everything in his path. He is pleased. So, you guys are all there. Somehow you managed to get the silhouette out in the middle of like the day because the sun is like overhead. It's about mid-afternoonish. Michelle managed to grab the Slua.
I've decided he must have a fanciful parasol.
The Slua is actually carrying a fanciful parasol. And basically he goes like, "Oh, light, joys of joys."
Oh, hello there. How do you do? I'm Frogger. Pleasure to meet you. Hello, good sir. And he shakes your hand.
And everything on the Slua is being shaken, like everything. Even though he's like 2 meters tall, everything is shaking.
Beautiful.
I have not seen you around before.
And he will just look at Bambi while he's being shaken. Care to explain what's happening?
Oh, this is Frogger.
Hi.
Very sweet. Pats Frogger's arm like, you're the best. But yes, picnic.
I brought tea, and he just, by somehow, he managed to pull out a kettle, still warm, from a backpack that he had somewhere.
I have brought sandwiches, marshmallows, chocolate cookies.
Oh,
Ew. Aha!
I have never tasted aha.
Biscuits.
Oh, those I did.
And
Oh,
yeah,
and for Dave, I have here a bucket of molten slag.
And
blink.
the little Slua will just look at Dave. What the hell is Dave?
Dave is a fire lizard.
Oh,
Yes.
dear God.
He's a baby salamander.
Yes. Upon seeing the bucket of molten slag just kind of there, Dave will climb up the side of the bucket and just kind of slowly, ever so slowly, head first, just kind of sink into it. And then, You can hear, you can assume that he reaches the bottom because the only thing sticking out is his little bitty tail, and it's wagging much like a dog's, and ever so slowly. No bubbles or anything, but the slag slowly starts sinking and sinking and sinking and sinking and sinking until there's nothing left except for this very. It's a small salamander, but when you just eat a lot, and so you have, or a tiny animal eats a lot, so it's just like this tiny little animal, and then this big ass stomach because they've done eaten a whole bunch, and he's laying on his back on the bottom of the bucket, one little lizard hand kind of on his belly, like, yeah, that was good. On his back, his mouth's kind of open. It's very apparent he's about to go into one of those, like, I am very full comas.
He's got the itis.
Yes.
Frogger's gonna look inside the bucket. All you need is the bird now, and you complete the stereotype.
Happy little, very muffled, like lizardly gibbering.
Ah, perfect. Just like the anime.
And he just gets a stare.
The animus.
So then, where shall we go down to pick a wonderful location for this? And it's just like dun 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 dun.
There's a park down this way.
There's a park down that way. Oh, look at that! That's a dragon.
What?
I think he's happy.
He's usually happy.
Joy of joys.
Let's go that way.
Bambi continues clip-clopping along with her basket.
The Zulua were squirm with them.
And at least one Wumblebot.
Wobble, wobble, wobble.
The Wumblebot is just very happily kind of like clinging to Bambi's back. It's kind of like, mine.
So, yeah, no, Frogger will walk over.
So, you guys kind of walk over, because this park, it's got about 3, because I'm actually basing it off of a park that's like in my hometown, in like the rich neighborhood, so I never ever go there. It's 3 large grassy knolls that reach about, yeah, I'm really horrible with height, but they're kind of large. There's 3. They're all kind of in a line. The one in the middle is taller than the one and than the other 2 on either end. The one in the center is definitely the tallest one. It's kind of flattened at the top, though. And the reason why it's kind of flattened at the top, though, is because as you guys kind of walk over the first grassy knoll, like, hey, let's go to the top of the second one. We can set up the picnic there. We can just kind of look overhead around the rest of the park.
Flat.
Yeah, like a plateau. But you get on top of the first grassy knoll, and you guys just kind of look over, and that's a whole dragon. That's not just a whole one dragon. That's a whole 2 tiny little. Well, they're not tiny. They're about 15, 20 feet, give or take. But Frograr, everybody kind of knows they're like the younger little dragons because they're not like, the historical like 40, 60 or so feet. But they just little babies. One has silver scales and the other one has red scales, and they're just kind of chilling there. You can guess they're talking. They're just kind of. There's ever so slight like body movement, and like head tilts and stuff. That's about it. It doesn't really seem like they've noticed you guys yet.
I mean,
So-
Bambi will be like, I know Fragrar is going to beat her to it, but she will pop up a hand to wait.
Frogger will actually reach on top of the first little hill, reach into his basket, take out a picnic blanket, lay it down very gently, then put his his picnic basket on it, turn around towards the dragons, and wave. Hello there!
That's what we were all waiting for.
I fucking live for Hello there's.
Yeah, Bambi will follow up with, "It's good to see you again," and yeah, waving.
Betty will just wave and remain in Slua characteristical silence while trembling and trying to serve tea. Because dragons.
So the red one will kind of open a large, ironically, red eye. Just kind of peer at you guys with the cat-like iris. And then just shut his eye again. And the silver one, you know, they were both kind of laying out, sunning themselves, because remember dragons, they're gonna sun themselves. They're like big alligators with wings. Actually, that's kind of exactly what they are, just gigantic ass alligators with some wings. Overgrown motherfucking lizards. They're beautiful alligators with wings. God. Hate alligators. So lazy. They really are. Like, oh my god. So the silver one will sit up, you know, the stereotypical like dragon thing, sitting like a cat on their haunches and whatnot. And just kind of look at you guys and then go, "Hello there."
Hi. How do you do?
Bambi will actually begin trotting over. She's probably thought enough to put down the picnic basket, but we'll trot
Would
over.
you like a
happily enough.
sandwich?
Joseph will go to the giant Frogger and go like, ask them if they want a little bit of tea because they cannot hear me probably.
Oh, okay. I want this. Would you like a spot of tea with a sandwich?
Yes.
This is acceptable. Yes. Is this something humans do often?
When it's nice
Oh.
out.
Go out for the picnic? Yes.
Interesting. They will start walking towards you guys, but as they start walking, it's kind of like one of those anime shifts where they'll shift from, you know, dragon, and as they're walking, they will kind of slowly morph down until in front of you guys is about a 5'8", give or so, young woman in a very regal looking silver gown with silver hair and silver eyes. And their skin has this kind of silvery, scaly look to it. Kind of like when you look at the corner of your eye, or if she turns a certain way, you can just kind of see it almost like the glint of scales, except, you know, it's just flesh.
Smooth.
Kind of like Frogger skin, I'd imagine.
Yes. Yes, actually.
And here, sit down. Come, sit, be merry. Ha ha. Yes. And Frogger will plump his happy ass down, open his picnic basket, take out the biscuits, take out the chocolate cookies, take out the sandwiches, and take out the marshmallows. And then he'll put down the bucket where Dave's in, and he'll spear the marshmallows and hold them just above the bucket.
Bete will just start serving cups of tea from his little kettle and start passing them around.
It's almost like I planned this.
Of course.
What plan to get Dave so freaking food comaed that he couldn't move so you could properly roast marshmallows over him?
Would anybody like a marshmallow? They're nice and toasty.
I would.
There you go. Oh, that hot. Oh.
And we're given a marshmallow, the slow will just grab it with his long, bony fingers, and in one bite with that bumpy nose, the mouth of Yoda, that's full of pointy, he was like, and marshmallow is gone.
He's got like the fucking needle teeth for days. Oh god.
And he was like, in Slua. Everything is in Slua.
Everything is in Slua.
So it's very quiet. Oh, no,
Maybe
no,
I'll just sit on the
no.
other side of Fagrar because
It's a very,
is-
very quiet. No.
Vete is very nice. It's very pleasant, but yeah, oh god, his teeth. Just can't cope. Looks like an angler fish, just fucking needle teeth everywhere.
Basically.
Would you like a marshmallow? And he'll offer one to the dragon lady.
Kind of tilt her head curiously to the side. Even when in human form, like her irises are still very cat-like, and so it's just kind of very reminiscent of a cat when you do something that the cat's never seen before. So they're just kind of like, "The fuck is this? The fuck are you doing? What?"
Giant pupils?
But eventually, she'll look at the marshmallow for a moment and she'll nod her head and say, "That is acceptable, yeah."
Would you like to wash it down with a little cup of tea?
Yes, please.
And he just pours some tea that looks like blood red and passes it over.
She'll take it and kind of hold it in her hand for a moment before taking a very small sip of the tea.
It tastes like roses. I'm breaking everyone in this room.
That voice, though.
Hey, my voice game is on point.
Yes.
By our powers combined, Alejandro, we shall make one deadly form of laughter.
Oh god. Maybe we'll be unpacking her basket, which is admittedly essentially those various pastries from Ria's shop where, after so many hours you make another batch because these ones have been there a bit and they're not as fresh and super amazing as they would be like right after being made. So they're like what, a couple hours old? Still amazing. That woman can cook. So yeah, she'll begin pulling out an array of pastries from this basket, like eclairs and all sorts of fancy dancy pastry goodness. And setting them out and offering things here and there, especially as they're like divvying up sandwich and whatnot. We'll happily be the extra pair of hands in the middle that's actually like divvying things out, offering them towards people.
And when the pastries reach the Slua, they disappear in a puff of crumbs.
Oh, thank you kindly. These are delicious.
They're devoured in a cloud of powdered sugar. Just
And oh Jesus, what was that movie? Was it White Chicks?
I don't know.
Where they did that joke where they had like the powder and they puffed and the powder kind of went everywhere talking about the breast milk. That's all I can imagine is that little puff.
Puff.
So,
Puff pastry.
yes. So the dragon will take some as well, and she'll take little small bites of everything, just kind of, this is new, this is interesting, this is a lot better than, the chimerical creatures that we kind of eat, this is not too bad, it's sweet. Okay.
If we give the dragon a sweet tooth, I regret nothing.
Just shows up at your house at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Hey, you just scratching the side of their face. You got any more of those cookies?
You got some of them cookies? Oh my god,
Oh.
that would be the best day. Like knock knock, you open the door, there's a whole dragon.
Just the whole dragon.
Not have the whole dragon. But yeah, she'll kind of glance over at some point or another and ask, "Do you think your friend would like any? I could take some over for when he's done napping."
Oh, my brother. I'm She just kind of looks over towards him and looks back and says, I don't believe he is quite particularly in the mood to deal with others at the moment. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's okay. We can leave something for him behind, and then he can snack on it later and appreciate the goodness of sweets.
He's not and he actually brings out a little red book, bound in leather, starts going through the pages. A little happy chappy. And he blinks.
Okay. Baby just stops and looks at him. Like, what? What?
You can see that the book says how to socialize with others.
Jesus Christ!
She just looks at him.
Edition 1.
She looks like she's been betrayed.
And he,
It's those
and
words
then-
coming out of his crazy demon face are too much for her.
and there and under the title says author Vete. And he just smiles. Hey, this is how I role play through a fault of not being able to socialize by being creepy.
I love it. Oh my god. I'll just look
Happy
over.
chappy.
Fucking heck.
A little happy chappy.
She'll just kind of look at him and say, I do not know what that means.
And neither do I. But it sounds nice.
Jesus Christ.
I end up with a headache from laughing this much.
That's it, guys. We can end the scene there. We've already accomplished our goal.
I'm gonna die.
Saving the world. One joke a day.
My face hurts.
Fucking happy chat.
Good Lord.
Someone go to the quote thread and put it there.
I'm doing it right now.
Thank you.
I'll just, yeah, we'll make a plate to leave for him. I just shaking her head, like trying so hard not to laugh.
Dragon just looks so confused because they don't understand any of this. They're just kind of like, oh no, I got it. So they'll look at the book, they'll read the title, and then they'll look at Yosef and they'll say, do you perhaps have another copy?
Oh no.
Yes. Yes.
And he actually looks at it and gives his own copy. And he waits a second. One moment. Brings out from somewhere a little vial of black ink and a quill. And then just looks at her and goes like, what's your name?
My name. That is. Give me one moment as I look up the name. Because she has a name. I'm pretty sure I know it, but I don't want to get it mixed up with her brother's name because they're very similar. Yeah. My name is Zaltaresh.
And he just writes on the first page, for my friend Altaresh, give being a happy chappy. And he just gives it to her.
And she'll kind of take it and she'll look at it for a moment and then look back up at him and say, I cannot take this gift. I have nothing to give in return.
Don't worry. I'm sure we could work out something later. And he just blinks with
Gifts
his
can
two
be given
giant
without.
eye fish.
Gifts are at times given without the expectation of anything in return. That's what makes them gifts.
Yes.
They'll kind of tilt their head just because it's just like, what? What is a gift? Everything has to be repaid. And so she'll say, I do not understand.
Usually gifts are given to show care or appreciation. They're not given with the expectation of something in return.
Yes.
It's a kind gesture.
But there must be payment for everything that is received.
Not really.
It's just as you would do things for friends without expecting something in return. Simply because you appreciate their friendship, they have the need, and you have the ability to do something that will help them.
Perhaps that may be so for those of us who were born of the Fae and those of us who were born of dreams, but on here, on like the human side of things, giving out gifts is a natural thing.
And there are even whole holidays that revolve around it. There are days when simply you give gifts to those who are close to you. It's a way of saying I appreciate you.
Of course, sometimes you have to watch out because there are people that will be like, "I gave you gifts. You have to do things for me," and then
That's-
you'll be like, "Fuck you," and you kick their butts.
Those are
Yeah.
not your friends.
And those are not gifts if they're given with the expectation of having something in return. That's just leverage. Not the same. But no, sometimes things are simply given freely, much like we're sharing our food. We don't expect you to give us something in return.
You can see that they're kind of working through that. The hamster wheel is turning.
It's trying so hard.
It's just kind of like I don't. That makes no sense.
If it doesn't make sense to you, what would you want to exchange for the book? And he blinks and smiles with his pointy fucking teeth.
She doesn't seem phased because she herself has very pointy teeth and in dragon form.
Yes, we feel comfortable with each other. These
Like-
other two are the one weirds.
Right? Like, hey, pointy tooth, buddy. Hey! And she'll just kind of blink and say, I do not know what would be a good exchange for this. Is there something you perhaps wish to know?
And he looks at Bambi. You mentioned something about a quest and a thing and a plague?
Oh,
Oh, yeah. She looks over to Frograr. He actually understood it much better than I did.
so well, my lady, and Kim, I'm sorry, I've already forgotten her name.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Zalteresh, I'll put it in the side chat.
I was about to kill Sindragosa, and I don't know why.
Zalterish. Okay.
She's not Syndragosa.
Damn it.
Not yet.
Oh, God.
There might be a Syndragosa somewhere because, I just need my undead ice dragons in my life.
But yeah, no, Fragar will say, yes, see, Lady Zalterish. We're as you no doubt know, the dreaming is currently being eaten away. It's a little horrifying. It bears a striking resemblance to the plague and rot that once that once was very much attached to the hip to the eggs of your kind, of the dragon kind. So we're trying to remove the plague, remove the rot, but because of that, we want to learn more about it. And that's it. How to put this? I understand completely. See, there's a thing we'd like to know. We'd like to investigate some of the old graveyards to see and verify if this is in fact the plague that haunted your kind many, many millennia ago. It would grace us very much if you were to know the location of one of these. Of course, if this is too much for you, since the gift that our companion here gave you is a book, it's completely understandable.
Actually, and he raised up a finger. It's the only kind of it in existence. I was starting to write it. I made it to chapter 2, how to make friends, and then I stopped. And he just stares into the blankness.
So she kind of looks between them all, nods, and says, "Okay then." Oh, let's see. Like, blanked out for a moment there. He was asking about where to find one of the graveyards, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Basically, he was saying like we would find it. God, it's so late I can't even English. We would like it to know where those graveyards are. Of course, if you feel that a book is not enough, or like if you feel like just because you've been given a book it's not enough, that's completely understandable. Yada 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 yada. Graceful, graceful. Bada bada bada.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I got it, like what he was asking for, correct. Okay. She'll also, the sun is coming up. You can see it slowly starting its rise. So she'll nod. She'll say, "Okay, that is acceptable, especially if it is the only of its kind in existence."
Yes, I shall never write other similar. And I actually says I shall never write the same book. And he brings out a piece of paper, scratch something, and write something else down.
She lifts up her hand and says, "There is no need for you to do something as far as that. I'm sure others would like to read a book similar to this as well."
Yes, everyone deserves to be a happy chappy.
Completely straight face, she just nods and says, "Yes, exactly."
God damn it.
The nearest graveyard from here. It is not too far away. Kind of. Of course, my distances are a bit different compared to yours, considering I am faster. But you can tell where it is because it is surrounded by a thick grove of trees. These trees are different. They are living, but the leaves are as black as midnight, and their bark is an odd silvery color. If you head into the grove, in the center is the graveyard.
Would there be a way for us to not get infected while we were looking for them?
I do not know. Not even we could figure out a way when it accosted us so many years ago.
The grove itself is a ward, I take it.
Is a what? Sorry?
Is a ward.
Wars. In a way. Mostly it's a war to keep others out. To stay away from the bones of our ancestors. There's a way to get in, but unfortunately I cannot help you there as it's, well, riddles and dragon magic. Things of that nature.
Oh. Well, I've succeeded in riddles and dragon magic once, maybe twice before, so I might be able to do it again. But who knows?
Exactly. Perhaps you may, once again.
Riddles could be fine.
Oh, what is it? Riddles are riddles are life and death.
Link.
I'm not very good at riddles.
What are you good at?
And he points at the sword. Poking people, making tea, and writing. I'm good at writing. I like to write. Makes me happy. And he smiles with the pointy teeth.
She nods. Perhaps you might have to fight something. I am not sure. It has been a while since I have been to any of the graveyards. So I do not know if they are overrun with any kind of infestation, or if the wards have failed.
We shall put the Nervosa to the sword.
Yes. We shall. In a duel of honor. And he just looks at the heavens.
But I'll tell you go. Bambi, you stay behind us and we do the thing. Ha ha!
What?
Can you
Blinks.
fight? Can you do the thing? Can you do the thing? Can
Oh.
you duel honorably? And Frogger makes like a little swirly motion with his arm as if
She
he's holding
like
a
starts
sword.
rearing back a little, like what? Like, oh no. She even brings her hands up, like no, I'm no good at that.
And that is a good thing. I, for one, can fight, but I prefer the telling of stories. They're great. They're natural. They're harmless, mostly. Except the one time that I brought a kingdom to war.
Fighting is always a last resource, except when you do it for honor, house, or family, or friends. Then you fight. And people like me take accounts of your fights and write you in a book.
Would you like another marshmallow? Starts roasting one. Or two. Or three. Or four.
Roast the whole bag.
Just above Dave. It's like psh, roll, 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 roll.
Dave is slowly starting to come to. Starting to roll around in the bucket a little bit.
Oh dear. Oh dear. And he takes out another stick, props a whole bunch of marshmallows on it, and starts roasting a second stick as well.
Oh boy.
Hello there, Dave. Stay asleep. It's okay. Just have happy dreams of lava and eating molten metal. It's okay. It's okay.
Maybe sing him a lullaby.
Go
I
to sleep.
I cannot hold the tone.
Go to sleep. Or the slow will let you.
Fucking looks at him like what?
And he just looks at her and goes like, "What? Didn't your mommy sing you that song?"
No, she didn't.
Oh, sorry. I like it.
I wonder why.
saying about sweet things and pleasant things.
Oh, okay.
Sleep, little dear, sleep like the
Um,
wind.
About sweet and nice.
wind.
Okay, got it. Go to
Oh,
sleep.
no, I didn't
Go
mean
to
that.
sleep, and the spiders will crawl on you. Something like that.
Blink. Blink.
And he goes like, "What? Spiders are fussy and nice, and they make clothes for you if you're nice with them."
Most humans are very scared by spiders.
Humans are dumb.
Well, I was human when, I
Why would
guess.
why would you
Kind of
be?
scratches her head a bit.
My
That, uh,
family likes
that
spiders.
reminds me, Bambi.
What?
Have you been saint yet?
That's a really good question.
He has been sorry. The player understood. You have been tamed, and I was like, "What?"
It's
Have
the
you
the
been
CYNA or
saint?
whatever it's called.
Ah, right.
I have no idea. She's only been around for a couple months.
Then it's probably no, because you're saint after like a year and a day.
So yeah, she just kind of tips her ears at, awkward angles, like they're not quite going the same direction. Pardon?
So when you have you not been saint yet?
Um, I don't think so.
Oh dear. Oh no. Oh dear. Ah. Do you know what saning means?
Tiny adorable head shaking. What? No.
Oh dear. So when a changeling chrysalises and becomes a changeling, um, they go through a learning process, which basically lasts for about a year and a day. And once that year and a day passes, you are saint.
Oh
Basically,
no.
you are a recognized member of Kifane society, and you learn your well, if you haven't already learned it, you learn your Fey name as well as your true name.
Um,
Never give out your true name.
no. No, I've only been awake for a couple months. I mean, out of my friends, I think Ryan's is the only one older than me.
Do you already know your Fey name?
I think so.
Well, for
We went.
example, my Fey name is Fraugrar. My actual human name is Blake.
Oh. No, I heard a name. I remembered a name when we went to see Moirin. Um,
But do you know if it's your true name or your Fey name?
I don't know. How do you tell?
Picture the name in your mind. Say it in your mind's eye. Don't whisper it. Don't say it. Don't even move your mouth. Just imagine it.
Okay.
If the name resonates with you on such a level that you cannot describe, it's your true name. If it doesn't, probably your fake name. It'll still have some resonance with you. You'll feel it in your soul, but it's not your true name.
That seems like a very complicated difference.
Well, the fey soul is immortal, and so the human name changes from time to time, but the fey name is eternal. It's basically the name you use in like fake in like the courts and all that jazz.
Have
And
I
when you
been
deal with chimera and other beings of the dreaming,
have I been doing wrong by saying my name was Pepper then?
not if you didn't know all of this. You can introduce yourself as your human name or nickname to other changelings. But to the dreaming, you will be who you are as a Fey name. Does that make sense?
I think so. It does. It's just still strange. I still know Pepper better.
Well, Pepper is who you are as a human. But you, and he kind of taps her antlers. You've been around for millennia. You've had many lifetimes. And you've had another name all this time.
Seems like it would be easier if I could just meet myself and shake my hand and tell myself.
Oh, been there, done that. It's
Like,
not as excited as you might think.
Yes.
well, then at least one of me would know.
Well, just think on it. If you can't remember before the scening, that's not a problem, since you will know all of your names at your scening. But if you can learn them beforehand, yeah, extra goodies,
Extra credit?
extra credit. Have a marshmallow.
Ooh! She takes the marshmallow, plucks it off the stick.
Frogger will notice that there's about 3 less marshmallows than he originally put on the stick.
Wait, what they go? And he's gonna look in the bucket.
There's a little sticky Dave.
Dave, you rascal!
Just kind of rolls over.
Frogger's gonna make squeaky noises at Dave. Oh, you are just a happy little thing. You're just a happy little thing. Oh, but you eat my marshmallows. Oh, don't you take that home with me, young man. I will have your portions of molten slag, young man. And he will put the bucket back. And he'll look at Bambi, dead serious. I have found the marshmallow thief.
You have? I mean, to be fair, we've all had a couple. I suppose he was due a couple by now.
But he's already had an entire bucket filled with slag.
He's a growing boy.
Yes.
Or growing
Well,
salamander.
Growing salamander, yes. Dave, do you have a penis?
What? Frogger, I mean, I hope he didn't understand that. That's inappropriate. He's a
Yes,
child.
plausible deniability.
They're a child.
Plausible deniability. I have other marshmallows. And he pulls out the other stick. Ha ha!
There than there should have been.
Those are much more marshmallows.
Here you go, that's a marshmallow. Here you go, and I have a marshmallow. Oh, here you go, ladies and Salta.
Nom, nom,
About
nom, nom, nom,
Irish.
nom, nom,
That's
nom.
it.
Ugh.
Just like, ding, 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 ding.
And she will take it and take a bite.
Oh. Oh. Um. You said you wanted to learn more about the things that people do, right? Looking
You're
over
not.
at the dragon. There's a thing happening, and I thought you might even like to join it, but we could just go and watch. There's going to be a race.
Oh my god, are you inviting the dragon for the fucking drag race?
Yes.
She kind of tilts her head to the side.
Humans will do it. I mean, they're not supposed to, but sometimes they'll meet up in secret places and all bring these very fast cars, and they'll have a very, they make it out like it's serious, but they all just have a really fun, high-paced race, usually for very large prizes. And I don't know how you are able to appear in the autumn world, but I thought if nothing else, if you wanted to join, it could be fun. See if you could go faster than these cars that are made just to go fast. Or we could watch. You could see how the people react, how excited they get over something that is just as silly as kids doing a foot race, really. But even when they're older, they find other ways to do it. They involve more complicated and expensive machines, but they do get very excited.
And the Slua just extends a hand, puts it on the dragon's shoulder. You must prove yourself that you're faster than a machine. He looks at her.
She
You can do it, Lady Saldrish. I trust you.
her eyes will slowly move down to where he put her hand
It's very
Or
long
his
and
hand.
bony.
on her shoulder. And she just gives him that look of like,
Don't.
You better take this hand away.
yeah, kind of. It's clear that like okay, it's kind of like when you'd have like that kind of layered emotion or face. It's just kind of like overall it's just kind of like confusion, but underneath it it's very clearly like, if you don't get that damn hand off of me.
He just goes pat and removes the hand and walks away. Like 2 or 3 steps and puts more tea.
She nods and thinks, I do not believe I appear in the autumn world as a car.
There's just kind of a shrug. I have no idea. I thought maybe you could look any way you wanted to. You are a dragon.
She kind of rubs her chin for a moment, kind of thinking, it is possible there are certain magics, and I'm rather skilled in illusions. I shall see.
She kind of glances playfully over at where her brother is still just out sunning, full ham, zero fucks given. You could
Yup.
even raise each other during it. It could be kind of fun.
I already know I'm faster than my brother.
Takes on an amused look. I imagine you'd need to carry someone with you, so it looked like someone was driving the car, but if you decided to do it, if you want anything, I'm sure they'd be willing to split it with you.
He nods. Simply, when is this to be done?
2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And a little under, I guess, by a couple hours. Probably not this late, but, well, I guess we're playing it like midday, so yeah, 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks. I thought I would go watch. I have Perryton, but I'm not a very good rider yet.
He nods. Okay.
And there's just a big grin. Because that could be very entertaining. Because at least to them, it would be watching a dragon race a bunch of cars.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's just got this big grin on, like this could be the best thing. I'm sure that to anyone who can see you, it'll be very clear who the winner will be.
Okay.
Just big grin. If you want, I'll come and get you, show you where it is.
Yes, please.
Broad smile. Look over to Fragarar. So we do know where to look now, at least.
Oh, yes.
I don't know that Titangel would appreciate it per se, but with what we know now, she kind of twiddles her fingers. I thought I would learn as much as I could about the hammer he's making. And then perhaps have you help me explain to Moirin what we know about the disease. And she's a craftsman too. Maybe she could help us understand whether or not the hammer will actually work. Because after what we saw on that wall, I'm kind of worried that it'll deal with one problem, but that we'll still have a lot of sick people.
He kind of like does the ah. Okay.
I mean, unless you think it'll work. I just
I,
thought,
I do not believe that striking down the Typhon will cure the disease. That disease is still here. It still exists. It's in the graveyards. It's in the air. It's apparently in the fucking mosquitoes.
mm-hmm.
Unless it has like the power of magic to chase it. I don't know. I
That's the
don't
thing.
think that this will work. I think this needs to be pulled out at the root. And we're just gonna have to find where the root is.
He kept talking so confidently, like he was sure it would strike down the disease, as if he was hitting the whole thing at once somehow, and I don't think it'll work like that. But I figure if anyone could tell for sure, if Moira knew what he was making and what we were fighting, she could at least
I'm
tell
sure.
us.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
She could at least tell us how much the hammer might do.
I'm sure the hammer will do something. It's being forged out of legends.
What if it doesn't do enough?
That's where we come in.
And we
Perks up a
slash
touch.
the evil guys.
What was that, Ally?
He said that, and then we slash the evil guys.
Well, not necessarily. See, here's the thing, right? The she may be kings and queens or whatever, but they're horrifically short-sighted.
There's a bit of a smirk. Mostly because Bambi tries so hard to be polite all the time, and it's kind of refreshing to hear someone say something bluntly.
Like, oh boy, they want everything and they want it now. And as such, they're very impatient. So if we go and we learn all we can about everything, and we can rub it in their faces, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
I mean, yes, but what happens when he takes all that information and then goes off making more bold declarations about how he'll fix it?
Then we'll just have to find another way.
I guess so.
Team Commoner Kiffs.
Yay! But she's not a commoner.
Sticks her tongue out at him.
Pokes the tongue with a long slua finger.
Ugh.
It's cold. It's slimy. Faintly tastes like ink.
She
Dragar.
reaches over with the finger and she's like, "Bleh!"
Dragar will clear her throat. Well, with all due respect to Lady O'Reilly.
And
Ha.
just scratch his nose. I would like to be a knight one day. And he
However,
scratch his nose.
she's still pretty much a fucking... You're a fawn in the woods, Bambi.
I'm a what?
You're a fawn in the woods.
I think he's calling you a telecommunication pole.
No, I'm not. How am I? No. How am I calling her a telecommunication pole? I'm saying she's a babby.
I am a babby.
I don't know what he says.
I kind of am. It's okay.
Knighthood does not suit you. Not yet, anyway. You can always grow into it.
She shrugs. Hopefully, I'll do well with it. And if not, at least Moira knows that. She kind of shrugs again. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, it's just you do you, and
That's
you'll
the
be
plan.
fine. Maybe, perhaps, hopefully.
Hopefully.
I still have a sandwich. There we go. I have 5 sandwiches.
You know
And he
what?
hands one out to everybody, and he will walk over towards the red dragon who's sleeping. Lay it. It's like he'll sneak over. He'll just like lay it in front of him and sneak back.
They'll open an eye and just kind of look at Frograr as he walks closer.
He'll not stop doing the silly sneaking motion.
Yes.
Even when you see it, he'll just be like,
There will be a snort or huff of air that just expels through his nose, and then he shuts his eye again.
yeah, he'll lay down the sandwich in front of it and then sneak away.
For what it's worth, Bambi seems to have repurposed her basket, putting a handful of this and that in it to leave for him because, well, especially if he doesn't change shapes, that sandwich ain't gonna do much.
You can see that Vete is trying to pull out the last drops of tea from the kettle. As he can, he just opens the kettle, and his tongue will start rolling down out of his mouth and cleaning the insides of the pot, and then back into his mouth. There, clean, and he packs it back.
Zal ain't even gonna question it. She's just kind of like, eh.
Don't worry, Bambi's pulling a hard enough face for both of them. Just like, like such protests.
He just smiles and go like, well, it's clean. Anyone wants more tea? I can always make more.
Is that your secret ingredient? Always carefully clean out your kettle.
No, I normally use water and a little green sponge I have at home and scrub it really, really, really well. But since I have neither, I use my tongue.
Bambi at least looks moderately relieved that he does not regularly clean out his teapots by licking them thoroughly on the inside. Oh my god.
It's very useful when you don't have water or a scrubbing sponge.
I suppose it would be.
Yes. Yes, it is. And he just pucks it like, eh. This is how you do clean a kettle in the middle of where anywhere.
Fragger will make this face. Literally this face.
Yep, he agrees. You see?
Where's the who? Where's the who? I still have the cookies and the and the biscuits. Would you like to have the chocolate cookies?
Dave by this time has kind of slithered out of the bucket, and he's looking up. His head tilted like all the way up, looking at those cookies.
It's like, oh, do you want him? Do you want him, little rascal?
Tail starts wagging.
You've already eaten my marshmallows, though. Must resist.
He'll roll on his back and just kind of wave his little legs and paws in the air.
Oh, God. The adorable belly up wiggles.
Dave, roll over. Sit. Roll over. Sit. He's gonna take out a cookie and going to get down on one knee, and he's going to hold it in front of Dave, and he's basically gonna roll the cookie over so that Dave's gonna roll over, and then push it up to him so that he sits, and he says, "Sit."
Dave will follow the cookie, roll over, and then sit.
Sit. Sit. Good boy. Good boy, Dave. Good boy. Here, have a cookie. Sit. Good boy. Or girl. Or whatever. You don't. No. And you will give the cookie to Dave.
Dave will eat it. Just kind of chomp.
This is going to be how I train my chimera.
Yes.
Chocolate cookies.
Chocolate cookies.
You've heard of How to Train Your Dragon. Wait till you hear of How to Train Your Chimera.
I mean, I would train a dragon, but this lady seems pretty fierce.
Yeah, she know what up.
Not sure that'd go quite right.
I mean, in a way, if you want to look at teaching her about human society in a way as training, then, there's that.
Oh, aren't you just a good salamander, Dave? Go on,
He'll, as he's getting scratched, he'll do the dog thing, and he just starts, like, his back hind leg is just... just dumping on the ground.
Oh, God. Bambi will look back to Zolterish. Were there any... I mean, you seemed interested in all sorts of things about people and even us. Were there any questions you had? Anything we can answer or explain?
I do not believe so. Every question that I have has been answered or is not able to be answered by you, unfortunately, or your friend. But such is the way is life. Such is the way is life?
Of life.
Yes.
But what would the question be then?
She gives him a sad little smile and says, the question that I wish answered, as I said, is unfortunately not one you can really tell me, but it is, where are the others? Where are my people? That I do not know.
Ah.
Maybe we could help.
I do not know. Most of us went into hiding and disappeared from the world when we were hunted, so.
I know where you were about 2,000 and 1,500 years ago, but I don't know if you're still there.
More than likely not.
It's a hard trail to follow.
Well, we can always keep an eye out.
Yes.
We go to many places. So we might hear something. And if we do, we'll let you know.
Thank you. I would appreciate that.
In fact, and he will take out his broadsword and jam it in front into the ground in front of him.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I swear that if I hear anything related to the location of the dragons, I will let you know.
Actually, is this a time I could or should activate that thingy?
That is up to you.
We'll look
Is that a
at,
good thing to do? I don't even know.
Just,
the Zulu will look at Frogger doing that weird thing that he did. So he will pull his rapier and do the same.
I mean, Frogger is basically gonna want to swear an oath to the Dargan.
I'm gonna do it.
We need to win the street race, man. We need them dragons.
What are you gonna do, Katie?
I'm gonna lose me some of this acorn dross is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to pop it.
Gonna pop it.
I mean, I can use contracts to sanctify this oath, but
That's what I'm doing.
hey, it's my oath. I want to sanctify it.
Okay, well you do yours.
Okay.
You do
Well-
you, and then Bambi does me.
no, Mom,
horrible.
my dog.
That sounds terrible.
That
Sounds
I know,
awkward.
right?
Okay, then.
But
That's where we
But
went.
yeah, no,
Sounds
Frogger
inappropriate already.
is basically looking at the dragon for permission for this oath to be sworn.
She will incline her head ever so slightly as that kind of, regal kind of catch your eye, tilt head down a little bit, like, you do the thing.
Yes. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Would you count what he just did, basically jamming his sword and swearing the oath, as a bunk, Kim?
Jeez.
Excellent.
That'll be. Let me think. You can take that as a. 2-point. Yeah, that'll be a 2-pointer.
Okay. But a good thing about contracts is it doesn't have a duration.
Yup. Because contract is like, once I get you, I'm gonna get you.
Yep. Da, 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 da. Contracts. Yep. Okay. Yes, this would be Faye, correct?
Yes, but for her, I think it would either be a 4 or 5.
Oh, jeez, I don't have that. I have Faye 3.
The good thing, what they've done now, is you can spend glamour to temporarily increase your pool. So let me see how much it would be. Most knocker contraptions. Cantrips, treasures, 3 sources. Yeah, it would be 4.
Okay.
So it would just be
So,
a glam.
so okay, I'll pop one of my draws and increase that to 6 then. Increase it to 4 then. 6 d10. And since Fae is my affinity realm, the difficulty is dropped by another one, so it's difficulty 3.
Oh boy.
Yo for sword.
Woo! So, as the dreaming kind of forms around them, binding this oath between the two of them, there's a kind of small, kind of actually visibly, seen kind of gusts of wind that pick up dirt and whatnot from the surrounding area that kind of swirl around them too as the contract is being sworn until finally there is a audible kind of snap or like pull as as the oath is sealed and bound. Then everything just kind of dies down again. Yeah, the twang.
Ding, 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 ding. I will go to my oaths. I will go to my oaths and update it.
Mm-hmm. And then your strength and health levels.
So this is my second oath. Does that mean I get another or 2 strength at this point?
Just one more. So it'll be +2 strength, +2 more health levels.
Yep.
And that'll be the max, if I remember correctly. Yes.
Yeah. In terms of oaths, I can only get up to 9 health levels. Or is it maximum of 9 health levels that you gain? I think it's up to.
I think it's maximum unless you take like any merits, because I think there's a merit that gives you some more. Yeah, to a maximum total of 9 health levels.
Yeah, and then
strength.
Yeah, and then when you go to like far and deep dreaming, you get additional based on. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
And does Dude Face want to make a big show of following up? The Slua.
Oh, this little will just look around and look at Bambi and go like, what do I do now?
I basically figure like he did his and all this crazy shit went off. But if he's rising to do the same thing, he can.
The Slua will just characteristically Slua away and hide under the towering. Well, not. God damn it! I'm too tall to hide. I will.
What are you hiding from? I thought you were doing the thing.
Give a chance to Slua to prepare. He doesn't know how to react to people or dragons.
Dragons.
Bambi just kind of watches him like, what? What's he doing?
Like, a second. And he turns around and mumbles to himself. He turns around, looks at Dragon. Rain check?
I do not know what that means.
I think now we extend a hand and see if it's raining.
She kind of leans over a little bit for the dragon's sake. Usually it means someone needs more time to prepare themselves, but they mean to come back and do whatever it is they were going to do.
They nod. Okay, that is fine.
And the Slua nods and mumbles to himself in Slua.
In Slua.
I don't think Slew is a language, but I'll allow it.
Just keep saying it.
Everything I do in Slua. And
Oh,
then he will
goodness.
just hide away like a nice little sluga that's too big and too thin to hide.
Oh, Lord. Bambi will go ahead and get herself up and pick up the spare picnic basket, which now has bits of pretty much everything. She got a bit of this, a bit of that. And we'll trot over, much like Ragnar did before, albeit not with the sneaky sneaky. She just, there's little thumps of her little hooves in the grass. And she'll go over and, much as he did, won't like go stick it right in front of his nose, but will go over and tuck the basket nearby, still within a easy reach of his giant claws, probably up on the flattened bit, so she'll get at least that close and, pop it down. If it looks at her, she'll give a polite little nod, and then we'll turn around and come back.
Okay. And they shall return the bow.
Oh. She'll actually pause for a second, surprised, but definitely pleased. It's the little grin. She even does the little tail wiggle. Little poof. Poof, poof. It does a little wiggle poof. But yeah, she comes trotting back, looking delighted. When we're done here, Fragar, would you mind walking me back to the shop?
Oh, not at all.
Another big, brilliant smile. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's a problem.
The slua strolls behind them.
The slew is doing random slew shit.
Yeah, basically.
Slewing in the background.
Should we gather up our things, or do you want to just stay and enjoy the sun for a bit?
Blink.
It's a little bit nice outside, so why not?
I, and he just puts the umbrella closer to him. I need to go to my shop. I need to write a new book.
Did you need someone to go with you? Are you okay?
Yes, it's been too much sun for me today. I'm going to start losing my paleness. And he slowly creeps away, saying, I will meet you later. Come by for some tea and books and biscuits.
Of course. Give him a little polite wave. Even though he's creepy slinking.
Yep, and he's Lewis.
He slew us the fuck out of there.
Slew.
Mm-hmm.
Slew.
Oh my god. You're all grounded. I'm done.
The slewee, or the slewist.
Oh my god.
Goodbye there.
Maybe he'll flop out too. There's even a nice blanket to lay on.
Barker will put his ass. I'm gonna lay himself down.
Does he make that noise too?
I mean, he's currently strength 6, so yes.
Or no?
Like, ah. And scene there?
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Thank you, players, for watching. Or thank you, players, for playing. God. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Changeling, the Dreaming.